So, first of all, as an introduction, our learning objectives. We noticed that the three of us had trouble with our topic sentences, so that is one thing that we need to improve on.
Also, well, the main thing was to write a development paragraph in an academic style.
Using the teal structure.
Which is these following slides.
The middle section there.
Nice. Skip through this.
The teal structure, which we use.
More information on it. How to deliver code as evidence.
Alright, So,
what I would change my run-on sentences that really pop up multiple times in my paragraph. For example, my top sentence, I have one really long and pretty bad run-on sentence, which is in my topic sentence, which I would try to change, which I'll say later. Also, I would try to be more precise in my explanation because I have a few parts of my explanation where I'm being vague and would need to have some more precision.
My topic sentence is doesn't explain what I will be talking about in my text, so I would need to adjust it so that it would.
And as it says right there, I need to change my topic sentence, or at least part of it, in order for it to link with the rest of my text, as well as being a bit more precise with certain elements of my explanation that were maybe a bit too vague, and avoid the incorrect usage of some words.
So my development paragraph. The first thing would be I would want to change my topic sentence. For example, I kind of start with this loneliness and isolation, and I don't like that, so I change it here. I take it off and I put it here, as well as changing explaining or linking, I should say, what I will be talking about in my text into my topic sentence. So here I have the effect, and then you wrote, Mr. Crooks, what effect, and here I explained that how isolation can make people angry and increase their willingness to cheat. And that is how I would change and make my sentence better.
Alright, next up is my development paragraph. And, so the one thing that I would change from my topic sentence is the part at the beginning where I only said a significant way. However, I did not define what the significant way was. So I would change it by saying that the new topic sentence would be in the novel of Mice and Men, written by John Steinbeck. Many of the characters' personalities are affected by isolation and the aggressiveness that it causes, rather than just saying that they are affected in a significant way. Also, I used the word drastic, which maybe wasn't the most precise word to use, so I would replace it with the word immense, as well as saying the effect without defining what the effect was. So in that sentence, I would have said something along the lines of, Crooks struggles to show it because of the normality that isolation has become in his life, or something along those lines, to make it a bit more precise and for it to link with my topic sentence, therefore making the paragraph a lot smoother and have a nicer flow to it.
And then mine, like I said at the beginning, I would change my run-on sentences because this sentence here, in Of Mice and Men, some of John Steinbeck's characters are affected by isolation and loneliness because of their race and sex, which really downgrades their personalities by shutting people out as if they are in a depression. So, as you can tell, this is a really long sentence, which we would need to either cut it down into 2 sentences or just take out the fluff. So I would instead, I would fix it to, in The Mice of Men, some of John Steinbeck's characters are affected by isolation and loneliness because of their race and sex. This will cause them to shut people out and be reserved to new people. I forgot the people. Also, I'd fix my setup to the evidence. because I would like to make it more fluid. So here's what I wrote. For example, in the scene, Crooks and Lenny are the ones left at the farm, and Crooks is denied access because of their skin colors, different skin colors. So instead, I would like to fix it by taking off for example, because I find for examples too formal, trying to make it more fluid. So instead I wrote, when the workers go to town, Lenny and Crooks are left at the barn, while the others go to Solo Dad. When confronted by Lenny, Crooks replies, and then they'll have the quote right after that. Then also, like everyone else, I also use the word effect without really defining it. So instead, in the sentence, the isolation of Crooks has a huge effect on his personality because, as readers, you can tell he feels he's closing himself off to Lenny. Instead, I would change it to where I define what huge effect is. So the isolation of Crooks will cause him to shut people out and be reserved, which will change his personality, blah, blah, blah. And conclusion.
Oh, yes. In conclusion, what we learned and what's next. We learned
to not use too much fluff in our paragraphs.
Yes, and to avoid ambiguity and using terms that don't really relate to anything, and
to really define those words that we just put out there. They're just kind of undefined. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a nice.